Well, hello and welcome. Well, this evening we're talking to Nii Lantey Vanderpuye, Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, also an Honourable Member of Parliament for Odududu. And we're talking about the myriad of issues, since he covers the myriad of issues. We're looking at Odududu, which is literally a mini city within the city. We're looking at sanitation. We're looking at the Sanitation Day. How is it coming up? Indeed, the conversation is diverse. But we're not going to start. Oh, no, let me say welcome first. Nii, you're welcome.
Thank you, Nana.
You've been too busy these days. Busy is good, so we're not complaining.
Thank you.
But we can't start by paying a little tribute to the legendary Sir Atukwefio. And as they always say, that a good name is always better than riches. And sometimes it is during ends like this that makes you realize why. Because you know, many people, probably far richer, have gone and nobody even paid attention. But because he served his nation and served his country, you know, it's on everybody's lips. And I know Nii Lantey, you know, have a personal attachment to this great man. And I'm sure you want to share one or two good, fond memories and about Sir Atukwefio.
Thank you very much, Nana. Let me say good evening to all the viewers. I wish today is not the day I'm doing this program. I received the news with shock, even though it is something that was inevitable because he's been sick for some time. The way he's shown resilience, he's been very steadfast in his belief that even if he would go, not now. He's fought hard, and he's shown a lot of resolve and a determination to overcome this battle. I received the news with shock, but I always think that to some extent I'm not a sadist, but I would say that it is good that he's gone at this time, because it got to a level that I thought that my uncle, my father, my friend was taking too much that he could bear. I've always admired Jones Atukwefio from afar. Initially, let me say this, he wasn't my favorite player because he was playing for Great Olympics. And at that time, I didn't have that love for Great Olympics because I was born into an Accra House of Folk family. But Jones is one person, even if you do not like Great Olympics, you admire. Very intelligent, flamboyant, skillful, technical player. And the field of play, he is a colossus among his peers. He picks up the ball, and you could see this is somebody who was born with a natural flair and has added something to it. I thought I was the only person who has seen an exemplary quality of a player. So even though as a small boy, I used to follow Accra House of Folk a lot, I never failed to also watch Jones Atukwefio play. I had the opportunity of also learning under him. And one time I followed him and another old uncle, great footballer of mine, one of the best defenders the world has ever produced. That is the late Ado Damite. And I followed them to their best place drinking spot with my uncle, that is the Hawk at Mamprobi. And then he looked at me and said, look, you know something? I've watched you, you are wasting your time playing football, focus on your education. And that is what changed my paradigm.
Wow. I
was so committed to football, I was so passionate about football that education was second. But when he told me that, it hit me that this is somebody who knows all about football. So if he's giving me advice that you focus on my education and not football, I better take it.
Wow.
And that's what changed me. It made me turn to more seriously with education than football. I was so much into football, everything was football. I was ready to sacrifice my academic work for football. To the extent that I remember very well in Legon, I had to skip exams in order to go and do football for Accra House of Folk.
Oh, you played
and
for
that's serious. Yes, I played for under 20s and I also tried the Wisuya Dwarfs a little.
Oh, neither you were quite good.
I am still good. With my contemporaries, I'm okay. I'm not bad.
But eventually he came to coach Hearts of Oak. And,
yes.
You know.
You remember very well, not only Hearts of Oak, when he was the coach of the national team, the only time I defied an authority like Ben Kofi was when he failed to support Jones Atukefio. You remember one time he was coaching, he had coached Accra and went to the national team. And the senior players of the nationals, the foreign-based players, were being, let me say, reluctant in playing for the national team against Nigeria. And I remember that team, Vitor Gali, and all these players, huge players. And then we look at Hearts of Oak. Hearts of Oak had just won the Champions League. And we have players like Stephen Tete, Sani Wahaba, Jogu Kopsin, and all these players around it. Charles Alote and all those things. And when he took that decision, many Ghanaians, I can say 70% of Ghanaian football lovers were ready to sacrifice him. He took the risk, went out there and drew with Nigeria. That time Nigeria was dreadful. He drew with Nigeria. But it was a message he was sending that if you assemble a group of 11 quite good players with discipline and commitment, you achieve better results than having a group of messes who are indisciplined and tactically not disciplined. It was a message. And I thought that was something that a lot more of our coaches will emulate. Unfortunately, after that, we should have given him the thumbs up and supported him to carry on. But there were some people who have always been fixated with foreign coaches. And as such, I wasn't surprised when those Hawks hunted him out. But I thought Jones was the best person to have built our national team from that level, given the opportunity to assemble local players who people otherwise will not give any credit, put them together, instill the Ghanaian football play and discipline to them, and then build from there. And there were young Ghanaian coaches who were learning from under him, and they would have taken it from there, and by this time, football will have changed. It's unfortunate we've lost somebody. The late Professor Mills told me something that when he was playing for Achimota School, and Jules was playing for Osu Salem, and then there was a match between Achimota School and Osu Salem, and then he picked the ball and he wanted to bypass Jones Atukefio. Then all that he saw that Jones has gone into the air and played a scissor kick into the net. He stood there and was looking. Then Jones turned around and told her, "You think football is like sitting in a classroom and writing pen and paper?"
Such wonderful memories of a great man.
I call him Sir Cecil, and you know, I work with him a little too with Liberty Professionals, and it's a pity that the dream we had with Liberty, Alaji Sly, Felix Angsong, Mr. Ayer, Joseph Atikufio, and I were putting our brains together to make Liberty a model team. I've seen Ghanaian football coaches. I've seen people like C.K. Jemfi, Ben Kofi, Adebi, Afrani, Edusei, Ade. Jones has exceptional quality. His human relations were excellent with his players. He takes the players like a father. He lives with them, and it makes every player feel free to tell him what his problems are. A lot of our football players carry their domestic problems to the field and to the team, and sometimes it affects their performance. Jones could immediately read you and know that you have a problem. I know one player who always talk about Jones will be Edmond Copson. Copson was one difficult of a boy. I picked him as a small boy, and I tried to build him. I helped him to go to Accra, Suffolk, and all those things. Stevie Appiah will also tell you the same. When I handed them over to Jones and Sir Jones decided to deal with them, it changed them. There's no footballer who will say that Sir Cecil Jones Atukefio did not impact on their personal lives apart from their football life. He makes you a better person. He tells you all the time what good things you are supposed to do for yourself. There are some of those players who come already with the smoking habit. He will make sure he let you stop. He will tell you he's been there before, and these are the difficulties and the challenges and the consequences. He will tell you. If you used to drink, he will call you personally and talk to you like a father and tell you these are the dangers inherent in a footballer and a sportsman taking up drinking. He will tell you. So you yourself, you become aware of the dangers inherent in your chosen profession if you continue on that track. We've lost a great person. We've lost a great man. Ghana football has lost a giant. And I don't know. He deserves a state burial.
I was just going to ask that if the state was going to...
He's already he's been honored with the highest national award. So he's already qualified for a state burial. And I know His Excellency the President will do so.
I just wish that idea of believing in the locals and not letting these big boys always come and bluff, because we always hear this report in the news, oh, he said he wasn't going to play, he said he didn't like the room, he said he didn't like the food because they've been to Italy and back, or they've been to... I just like that idea. So, you know what, if you won't play, I'll build my local team and make something out of it. I just wish that dream would carry on.
Jones said he has a special trait some time ago when he was a coach. Before selection, he put the jerseys down. He said, any of you who thinks that he's qualified to play this match will pick the jersey. Do you know why he does that? He will want to use that to determine the confidence level of the player. There may be a player who is very good, but supposing Haas is going to play Kotoko. He may be the best player, but his confidence level may not be for them. Because, let me be frank with you, Haas and Kotoko is a different game altogether.
That's a war. That's not a game.
Haas and Olympics, it's a different game altogether. So that player may be good. Maybe in playing Haas and maybe BA United. But Haas and Kotoko, it's a different thing. So he said, anybody who feels is confident playing this match, pick a jersey. And you will see some of the best players pulling back. It's just like a biblical saying. They said Israel was going to war, and David was asked to take the men to the riverside. And then I said, whoever drinks and looks up, put him aside. So that is sort of Jones you have. He has a way of psychologically determining when a player is ready for a match. And he really wanted to build a strong local-based national team. After that House of Folk episode, adventure, and experience. He told me personally one-on-one, that Nii, much more menoko. They said I couldn't do it. From today, I will show them something. But seriously speaking, there were a lot of people within the football circles who didn't like him. Because Jones Attukefio will say it as it is. He doesn't give a damn. If you respect him, he respects you. If you don't respect him, because after all, he believes in what he has, and he believes in his ability. And that's what a lot of our people do not like. The person who is very confident in himself, who believes in himself, who thinks that he can achieve what he wants to achieve without necessarily seeking your patronage. And people think that is a bad character. They don't like him. And the good thing for Jones, me seriously believe, I think he will be happy wherever he is, because Jones has seen life. He enjoyed his football. He enjoyed life. He enjoyed life. Even at this, Jones was God. Jones likes with his wife to go out there, have fun, enjoy, come home, and all those things. And it's a good thing. He has that free, that light side of him. If you put the man, the huge personality Jones Attukefio aside, very ordinary, simple, go easy, go free person.
Is there anything we can do in his memory that would be befitting, that would last long, to let people remember these qualities?
I would wish that Accra House of Folk, Great Olympics, Asante Kotoko, and Ashanti Gold, the teams that he made great impact, could always play an annual memorial in his memory. I wish to have that done all the time. If these 4 teams will always play a round-robin game, in always, every year, we should fix it every year as part of our football calendar. If the GFA could do that, it would be good.
National Stadium?
Positive. Well, if you ask me, certainly, I was one of the people who advocated for the change of the name of Accra Sports Stadium from Ohinijan to Accra Sports Stadium. I believe so. If you ask me today, that will you support Jones Watuke Field being the stadium, Accra Sports Stadium being named after Jones Watuke Field, I would say yes. I would say yes. Because I know the reasons why I supported those people who called for the change of the name from Ohinijan to Accra Sports Stadium. But I am sure that those people, those of us who made that advocacy, will be too happy to see Jones Watuke Field Stadium on the entrance of Accra Sports Stadium.
You don't think he would now come back and tarnish all his good works, where we will play politics with it and come back and tarnish his good name?
Well, those who want to play politics with it should play politics with it, but the fact still remains, whatever you do in this country, you have people talking about it. But if you believe in what we are doing and you know your cause is just, why don't you go ahead? Because seriously speaking, the only edifice between Jones and CKJMF, any of them could pass.
You see, because the issue
for the
then will
Accra
become
Sports Stadium.
Argument that why has he done more than Ohinijan? Why did you take Ohinijan's?
What did Ohinijan do? Administration? What's that for administration?
Maybe in his field.
Yeah, Nkrumah gave him all the resources, all the power, all the authority. I believe if any other person, any other sports administrator gets that support, that if we give Nyantechi all the power and all these things that, for example, or maybe the head of the National Sports Authority today gets all that sort of power and all those other resources, he will do the same, maybe do better. There are certain things that I wouldn't want to say it on it, but he also did a lot of things that hurt a lot of people, a lot of families, a lot of individuals.
I guess he's fallible.
Yeah,
like we are.
he's a human being, but certain people could not continually want to hear that. But I believe with Jones Watuke, for example, with CKJMF, for example, if their names are put on a cross post, I wonder whether anyone at all, anyone, will have ever. Nobody has raised an issue about Babayara. Why do you think people raise this issue about Ohinijan? If you have time, Nana, outside the studio, I will tell you a lot of things.
I guess so.
And then if you have time, you can talk to a lot of the old footballers who were, or the sportsmen who were around that time. I had opportunity of listening to them. I had opportunity of interviewing them as a sports journalist. So I wasn't surprised when agitation came against the name. And I was already, because of the knowledge I have, to support it. CKJMF, I don't believe there is any footballer in this country who will raise a voice against CKJMF. Jones Watuke, I don't believe there is any footballer or football administrator in this country who will raise. Jones, do you know Jones did not play for Accra House of Folk?
No, I've read a bit of
But House of Folk supporters today adore Jones Watuke because he brought glory to them. He didn't play for Accra House of Folk. In fact, he played for the bitterest rivals of Accra House of Folk, Great Olympics. You understand? But he managed Accra House of Folk. He gave all to Accra House of Folk. And he is the one who made Accra House of Folk better, both as a footballer, as a manager, and also as an administrator. So, well, if the nation will not do it, I will suggest to Liberty that we change our stadium name from Liberty Stadium to Jones Watuke Stadium.
Befitting. I'll take a break here, and then when we come back, we'll move into the local government ministry and find out what's happening there. But it's been a sad day, but I'm sure that once they say whatever good is on earth is good in heaven, and I'm sure the good Lord will give him a nice resting place. Don't move, we're coming straight back. Well, thank you very much for staying. We have in studio Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, and also Honorable Member of Parliament for Ododo. And if you know Ododo, it's a little country on its own, situated in the city of Accra. everybody in Ghana, anywhere, any tribe at all in Ghana, you will find them within the Odododio constituency. So I guess he's a little president on his own, because he has to manage all these tribes and all these issues. But before we go to Odododio, what's happening to district assembly elections? I mean, I know the first one got cancelled because it was taken to court, and now we have to do a rerun. We've lost money, and we're going back again. What's happening to the...
Well, so far as I know, the LI is before Parliament, and we are waiting for the 21 days. You know, we resumed sitting. It was late before we went on recess, and we've resumed sitting from today, and we are still counting the days. And as soon as the 21 parliamentary days elapse, that means that it has matured. Then it gives the Electoral Commission the power, the mandate to go ahead and also set the date for a filing of nomination. In fact, they have to start a cycle again, filing of nomination, campaigning, and also the elections. So hopefully, if you look at the timetable, hopefully maybe mid or the third week of July, it's possible for us to be able to have the district assembly elections.
Let me just divert a little bit and come back. I mean, if you died and came back and, you were going to lead, like a political head or big institutional head, and God asks you a country, you just have to choose Ghana. I mean, there is no way in any advanced country, Australia, Canada, America, you can have an EC board, take such a decision and still enjoy their office like, it's another day. Knowing very well that I'm going on an election, I have no law backing it, but I don't care, I will go. They take you to court, you lose, 360 million down the drain, just give me another 90 million, I'll fix another one for you. Thank you very much, business as usual. I mean, we must be a pleasant people to govern.
We're wonderful people.
I know you can't comment a lot on that, but I know of you would.
No, but that's why people say we are a very wonderful people.
But so when
but that's beautiful. That's beauty. That's the beauty about Ghana. That's the difficulty about Ghana, and that's also some of the difficulties you cannot understand about Ghanaians. And one thing I always admire Ghanaians for, even though it looks very, excuse my language, very. Let me use the word a bit foolish on my sometimes. Somebody is arrested for trying to steal my money, or even trying to rob. As soon as people decide to vent their anger, you will see people come and say, "Oh, why are you beating him? Allow him." And all. You understand? That's the Ghanaian for you. So the tendency for the Ghanaian to be on the side of the underdog, the one who is suffering, the one who is marginalized, is always high. People look at that one more than what the wrong the person has committed. And that is the reason why I think I am here today, because today I listened to some discussions which me and you have had before. For example, somebody comes to put this thing here. Somebody, a taxi driver, may stop in front of your office here for a passenger to alight or to pick somebody. He will block traffic. People maybe will be behind him, start honking. Some others will stand there, then we are disturbing. When are we be there? You understand? They will not tell the person, the taxi driver, he's wrong. They will rather be faulting the person who is trying to correct the taxi driver. That's the sort of situation we have in this country. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very...
Then I try and, for me, for example, my constituency, it's a funny thing. Maybe I should not, I will say the flag for this, but let me say it. I went there and I saw that the Jamestown police station, for example, we have only one cell. So sometimes when the women or girls or the rest fall foul of the law and they're taken to the police station, immediately, because they don't have a female cell, they are transported to either ministries or Agbogboloshi or other place. So when the family want to visit the person or try, and it becomes difficult. So I said, okay, fine. Why don't I try and assist the police service to have a female cell? Do you know what some people are saying? You vote to man here, no?
We'll see
prison, my dad. Can you believe that?
In my prison. Yeah.
You see, they don't look at the good side of what I'm doing, but that is politics for you. So,
but we'll get there. Anyway, I have a comment here, and somebody wants to know if you are still standing. If you're going for re-election. Junior Lovis Camry wants to know if you're going for re-election. And post your questions on, go to Facebook, look for Joy News, post your questions there, and then I will pass them over. There's a few concerns too, and I'm going to pass them all over.
I have a vision. My goal, I say I am not in the do just for the sake of politics. I see my politics as a calling. And once the God who has called me to serve has not told me it's enough, I'm going to continue. And I want to deliver on the vision that I have for the people of Odododio.
You have a strong contender now.
Well, I don't know who the person is.
Well, Nano Yelita wants the seat.
I'm not sure about that. She's my very good friend. We were mates at the university. And if she was interested in my seat, she would have told me.
She told you. Okay.
But I don't think anybody would dare. You'll be slaughtered. I'm serious. Nobody, I am saying it, I'm not being boastful, I'm not being overconfident. Anybody who comes, I'll trash him. I'll trash him. And I'm telling the MPP, for example, to go waste their resources somewhere else, not to do. Because they will receive more trashing than they receive in 2012.
My producer is just telling me that she's declined her intention. So maybe...
She's declined her intention?
Yes.
I'll have sympathy on her. The last time I told my favorite contestant that he won't get more than 15% of the vote, that's the primaries, and he got it. If your producer want to contest, for her sake, I'll retain the 15%. But for the MPP, the 35% they got, they will go down. I'm saying it here, they won't get anything more than 25%. In 2016.
Even on the back of doomsday and unemployment and everything going on.
Doomsday. Well, I know. The work is going on.
It's actually normal that, you know, after you go into your second term, you normally lose votes. It's not because of you, it's worldwide.
Yeah.
Any party moving into second term.
I will gain more votes than I got in 2012. I'm confident, I know. I know what I'm doing. And I'm certain about the prospects.
It may not be you personally. With all your good intentions and everything, if VRA switches off the electricity, your good intention doesn't matter. I don't have light. I can't do my little sewing.
The government has achieved a lot. You know, by my position, I've gone around the country. Not the regional capitals, I've been to the villages, I've been to the district capitals, and I've seen the level of infrastructure development in the rural areas. But the government
communication team hasn't told the people that.
We'll tell our story. You wait.
It becomes defensive.
In the midst of doomsday, if you even say it, people will not listen. You understand? In this situation, I'm saying it, but somebody sitting out there will not be, because the person hasn't got electricity possible to see. And I'm saying that once we'll fix, I don't want to believe the name doomsday. Rationing. I have experienced it since I was 13. When I was a young boy in school in the Brong-Ahafo region, the whole Brong-Ahafo region was on a generator. And districts get it 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. Bechem district 2 hours. Sunyani district 2 hours. Brekum 2 hours. Doma 2 hours. Techiman 2 hours. Kintapo 2 hours. That's how since those days. So some people may not have experienced this life before, so it's difficult. And I've seen it before. I know that government is taking pragmatic, difficult, but enduring measures that will fix the problem once and for all. I was happy President Lacma said it, that he's not going to adopt the cow dung measure to the solving of this energy problem. You know what a cow dung measure is?
Of course, you're dry.
Yeah, the surface is dry, but under it. And that is the way we've done it. He said he's not going to manage himself out of this problem. I am happy, as a member of government, I appreciate the efforts of the president. And I'm not happy going out there and people insult me, people insult the president because of the power rationing.
Because I mean, we are on generator now.
I use generator too. Some people think that as ministers, we are toying. But sometimes I go 3 days. In my area, I go 3 days. I go to my constituency people talk. I go to the village to visit my folks, they talk. I've been traveling around the country. Wherever I go to, people talk about it. So as a government, we are hearing. Nobody should think that we clog our ears, we don't know the suffering of Ghanaians. Nobody, President Magma did not come to power to lose power in 2016.
The problem is, I think there are certain people which, out of love or probably empathy for government, come out in defense of government, and their choice of language or their posture comes across as, why are you complaining too much? Somebody may be complaining because just one sachet of water, she couldn't freeze it. Just a sachet.
I agree.
To you and I, it's just 4 cities. To her, it's her livelihood.
Life is true.
Her livelihood. Yeah. Somebody on the other end of the scale, somebody is losing maybe 200 workers, which is also magnitude. So when a communication then comes to say you are complaining too much, or it doesn't stand well.
I accept the fact. You consistently, if you do content analysis of the president's speeches all this time, he has always been very apologetic in this energy. He talks about the way... The
president has been fine. It's those who seem to speak for or speak like defending. They haven't been authorized, but clearly from their communication, I am defending my boss or I'm defending somebody I like, but they seem to make...
Now, why do you think people like Alidu or Ras Mubarak come out to apologize for the statements they made? Because somebody at the top there said, look, if you claim to be a Christian, then walk like Christ, talk like Christ, behave like Christ. If you want to tell the people that you support John Mahama and you are supporting him, then this is not the posture, and no, it's not the way you should talk to the people. And that's why those people come back to apologize. I have met people who have come to me and said, hey, Charlie, the old boy called me, the way he blasted me for what I said. People think that President John Mahama is sitting there and people say these things and he allow them to go. No.
Wouldn't it be fair for a little statement from the president office that the president office has asked this person to retract because we disassociate from them?
You see,
because otherwise, if you hadn't said this, I wouldn't have known.
A lot of the time, if you are in government, so for every NDC supporter or NDC person somewhere...
certain ones are critical.
Yes.
This is critical.
I believe if seriously for example, the only serious government appointee, when I say serious government appointee, I would say who has made such a statement that has come out on this issue is Ras Mubarak. And I was happy immediately he came back to retract. And I thought it was unfortunate. Ras could have presented what he wanted to say. But you see, these things are happening on social media. Until the thing comes out for somebody to even draw the president or any other appointees. For example, me, I don't follow Ras Mubarak on social media. Or how would I know what he has gone to say until the thing comes into the public domain? So that's the difficulty. Assuming those people are on, like I'm sitting on television now, on radio, or anywhere, and making those statements, I'm sure that one, there are hundreds and thousands of people around the presidency or the president himself will be watching. And immediately, I'm sure, the reprimand will come. But these ones are happening on the social media. No, I'm not on social media. I'm not on WhatsApp. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter.
At the back of all
you can call me conservative.
No, that's fine. But at the back of all this is this vigil. Now, I think, again, people...
If they invite me, I'll go.
And that's what I was expecting.
If they invite me, I'll go. I'm serious. If they invite me today, I'll go. Because the issue is that they said it must stop. Government is determined to stop it. And I'm sure if they invite the president will attend. So
why has there been so much hoo-ha about this?
I think to some extent I will blame my people. I think we have made this what it is today. Because it's nothing. When the people were talking about it on social media, if we have ignored it, You think if Alidu has not come to talk about it, Ras Mubarak has not come to talk about it, this thing will have been given the sort of prominence it has achieved.
I don't think so.
So we have made the, in fact, they should even be thankful to some of our people who have even made the whole issue become almost a national issue, an international issue, because I've seen the BBC also covering it. But if we had ignored, listened to it on the quiet, taking a watchful eyes on it and seeing what they want to say, I think it will be better for us. But sometimes some of our friends are in a hurry to rebut some of those things and think that that is a way of showing that they are, let me use the word, more, let me say, more pro-government than somebody else. Sometimes, some of these things, we just let it go.
Yeah, but you are in Ododio, you're also from the Ga, tribe. I mean, have the chiefs, stepped in too much, and now is there a fight between barriers? If you march on this street, you're my territory. If you march on that street, you're my territory.
Nana, people are misunderstanding the chiefs. The Gamashin area, where the ban on drumming and noise making is effective from yesterday, starts from Pilenyo, and then all the Ga villages through Gamashin villages throughout.
And where is Pilenyo?
Pilenyo is from the old Victoria Bock Press. Tema started last week. They called theirs Alagbemi. No noise, nothing. So Tema started. Then Gamashin. After Gamashin, it will go to Osu, La, and all those things. Just as we celebrate the Homowo. Because the ban on drumming and noise making is a precursor to the Homowo.
Yeah.
So it has a period. Yeah. All this ban and this happens a month before the commencement of the festival. It happens in Accra areas. I've stayed in a lot of Accra areas and it happens. So that is what people misinterpreted Takikome's statement to mean, that he was referring to the whole of Accra. No. He was referring to the Gamashin area. So if, for example, what the La Wulomo said, it's not, we know that if somebody wants to do something in Legon, at this moment in time, it will not affect the custom and tradition of Gamashin, because Legon is part of La land. But when it gets to the 10 of La, you cannot do that there. You understand? Okay. So people should not think that the La Wulomo is countering what the Gamashin chiefs said. No. The Ga Traditional Council is different from the La Traditional Council. The Ga Traditional area is where the ban is. It's effective in this area. So, for example, here, you cannot do anything around this area.
There's another press conference where there's actually been a dispute, where now the boundary has become a dispute. Other people have come out and say, look, just forget about this video, because the argument now is going to go even traditional. On Asempa this afternoon, there was an interview where there were some Ga people saying, look, they didn't care where the video was going to go, they were simply against it.
Well, that may be stretching the argument a bit too far. I have said, what people are saying is that people are thinking it's not just going to be a vigil. People are going to, because they say they walk. So if you're not careful and you walk and you transcend the boundary of the traditional area where there is no ban into the area where there is a ban, you have infringed upon the law of the traditional authorities.
I'm going to take a break, but before I go, Prince Margin Dramado says, when will the 982 professionally trained environmental health assistants stroke officers covering 4 batches dated from 2011 from the schools of hygiene be posted to beef up and the enforcement of sanitation laws and health and education? When we come back, Nii is going to tell you. Stay tuned. Well, King Faisal on Facebook, thank you very much for staying. King Faisal on Facebook says, I want to find out when the local district elections, he's answered that, I'm sure you were listening. This one says, my question, this is Amuzu Oscar Solo, says, my question is, can Ghana attain the MDG Goal 7 thereabout, unless hygiene graduates are posted. Tria, government, stroke Ghana, stroke government. So I think this, what are you going to post?
It's a concern. There were a lot of problems. You see, one of the issues has to do with, initially, this is an health institution. But then the off-taker of the services of these graduates is the Minister of Local Government. You understand? So in the past, but we'll be able to resolve this. The good news, and I've told some of them, they've called me, is that the Minister of Finance has indicated to us that very soon they will give us the warrant for us to recruit, especially the graduates from these universities, School of Hygiene, so that we can have a lot more of these people to augment the current level of staff we have in order to effectively enforce our sanitation bylaws in the various districts. Because all the efforts we are putting in, I know still there are a lot of people, a lot of Ghanaians who are recalcitrant, who still are simply not obeying the basic environmental and sanitation laws of the various assemblies. And these people, you need to enforce the law. You need to crack the whip. Nana, I've gotten through cabinet. We've got approval from cabinet. We're pushing a bill to parliament. It's not a bill to really change, but it's a model bylaws which are going to make the National Sanitation Day compulsory, which is going to give more meaning and more power, because some of the laws we have, the bylaws we have regarding environmental sanitation have been there for ages, and they're not punitive enough. We are now prescribing 200 penalty points to some of these infractions, so to make them more punitive. So once we get those laws through, you will need the personnel to enforce those laws. So we are determined, we are sure that government, in its effort to make Ghana one of the 10 cleanest countries by the end of 2015, would give the backing to the effort.
Too ambitious?
It looks too ambitious, but it's achievable. You know something?
It's not. I mean, the mindset of it's the mindset. It's not political. The mindset of the people of us. We haven't been trained to be clean.
No, I don't believe so. When I was growing up, every morning before I enter my classroom, the teacher will inspect my fingernails. So up to today, I fear growing my fingernails. The teacher will inspect my earlobes, my teeth, my color, my armpit. These are the things teachers religiously inspect every day. So your mother will not send you to school when she is not sure you are very clean. Today, all those things have slackened. And I believe if you and I go back to those things and we enforce them in the schools, we enforce them in our homes, it will. I have said that now our drift towards this is also encourage a lot of sanitation clubs in even primary schools. We start basic hygiene in primary schools. We try to, I've said it the last time. I've told Sami to talk to the boss, Nana, and see how best we can talk to Ghana Education Service and see whether as part of the civics, I think, subject, we will not introduce environmental health and sanitation. But they told me they do something like that already. But I think that even if it's going to be examinable, it will help. Because slowly, what we are saying is that when we're growing up, Nana, it will be difficult for you. I see young men, young women today, Nana, dress and their panties showing. And they feel happy walking on the streets. People even go state functions. Recently, the Ghana Music Awards, I saw young men with their panties showing, trousers here at their buttocks. Our days, you dare not. Because it's marks of indiscipline and disrespect to any elderly person you see on the street. That elderly person will call you and give you some few lashes, pull you to your father, and your father will add up. You misbehave in the house, you are not only caned in the house, but you'll be also to be taken to school to be caned. Let me show you. I always show this to my children. This mark, do you know how I received it?
Lashes.
Lashes in school. Do you know why I got it? For beating up a girl, for writing in my book. So from that day, I've learned it is wrong to beat a girl, to touch a woman. Because I was beaten, and I've got a mark here. But today, people's children misbehave in school. Teachers discipline them, and their fathers will wear gloves. And their mothers will put up their destiny and go to the school and beat up the teacher. You understand? Mm-hmm. So we are not helping for some of these basic things.
How's the National Sanitation Day coming up? The momentum seems to be quieter, or is it just that it's not where...
The momentum is quieter in the regions where the focus is not on, which is wrong. We have said that the National Sanitation is a national program. It's supposed to be embarked upon by every Ghanaian every first Saturday of the month. But then what we are doing is that to give more meaning to our decentralization program, we will move, the ministry will move to a particular region in a particular month. Work with them, the chiefs and people there, to induce them to all as part of our sensitization. And to be frank with you, I have seen a progression in the regions. You know, we just come back from the Upper East region. From the Eastern region, a lot of people thought that Eastern region, because of the Easter festivities, it was going to affect the national sanitation. But we received one of the best patronage in the Eastern region.
I know you came to Atimpoku, I couldn't come, but
yeah,
I hear
it was superb. When we went to Upper East, we thought it was going to go down. Upper East has, I can say for sure, Upper East was better than all the regions we've been to. Not even Volta region.
I don't have a lot of time, so I'll move on straight to slums developing in Accra. And I'll go specifically to the one around the mall. I mean, we've said it consistently, people come, they're selling shoes, and now I'm sure it's a legitimized market around the mall. Very soon, you know, they will form an association and you have to take to court to move them from there. What are we going to do?
Nana, that is the issue this morning I had to make an intervention about. When people try to justify the fact that because people don't have work to do, people don't have a place to sleep, they require a place to sleep, they require to work in order to get, so it should be allowed. Or we should, all of a sudden, because of where they are, we should build a market for them. If you're not careful, we'll start building market everywhere. Everywhere in the world, there's designated places for selling and for trading. So the fact that people have started selling on the pavement around the mall, around Tetekwashi, does not mean that we should throw our planning program of that area into the dustbin and just create a market for them.
But who's the MC around there? Because
the problem we are having today, let me be frank with you, and I'm being factual about this, there's a little bit of litigation between Lacma and Lacma as to who is responsible for that area. Mm-hmm. You know, Lacma used to be part of Accra, and AMA's jurisdiction was up to the mall. And then Lacma was created. When Lacma was created and the boundary was cut, so the Accra Mall became part of Lacma. Then Lacma has been created from AMA. So the demarcation changed again. Then Lacma, part of Accra Mall, has become part of Lacma. But because Lacma already has jurisdiction over the place, Lacma coming in, there's a tussle. Oh. If I tell you it's even brought up a fight between workers of both assemblies, will you believe it? As of today, we've given it to our boundaries settlement committee and they are handling it. I had the opportunity of calling the two chief executives and their workers to and warn them. For now, what we decided to do is that whoever has been responsible for the maintenance of law and order around that place should continue. We want the status quo to remain until the committee comes out with its verdict.
Because I stopped and spoke to a policeman. But this guy, there was this preacher who comes there with his loudspeakers. And I said, I mean, surely this guy is breaking the law. He says, oh, it's the AMA's job. Thinking, it must be somebody's job.
Let me be frank with you. If AMA had to be responsible for the place by now, I'm sure, because AMA was really. But as soon as that place was carved out, you know, up to from now, the whole of 37 police headquarters or all this is no more under AMA.
No.
It's now under Lacma. So Lacma's jurisdiction has taken over the airport area straight to Tetekwashi Runabout and all those places. And then Lacma also has this thing. There's a thin boundary between them. There's a river, a stream around the area. And that's the problem we are having.
So in the meantime, what's going to happen? Because
Nana, trust me, as tomorrow I will confer with my minister and we'll take specific action on this. We'll take specific action on this because I think it's a growing nuisance. And if it's not checked, it will become like any other slum, any other indisciplined area, like what is happening around former President Kufuor's area. All of a sudden, the whole place has become a place of containers.
Nii, unfortunately, my time has run out, but I haven't even gone to houses which have to have, decent toilets in it because there's a law, and yet still there's lots and lots of houses who don't have laws. Indeed, I think Ghana is becoming one of the few countries where people leave home and go to a public loo to use it. Whereas normally, when you are outside and you're not home, then you use the public loo. It's not for ones that when you're already in your house, you leave your house to go. So, I mean, maybe...
The only comment I will make about this is the fact that in the past, I think all our efforts, we've been talking more about water is life, so let's give water, forgetting the fact that water and sanitation go hand in hand. So as soon as you start talking about water, you must talk about sanitation. They are inseparable to me. All international donor support and all these things, until recently when we have the WASH program, has been looking at water. Because people think that we get diseases right from water. But people don't think too much about the consequence of those diseases. If you get running tummy, where do you go? I always tell people when I'm hungry, I could buy a bottle of mineral to drink. When I'm thirsty, I could buy a bottle of mineral to drink. But when I have a running tummy on the street, where do I go to? Sanitation is key. And I think it's even more important. And so the focus and attention we've given water in the past should the same be for sanitation.
Nii Lantey Vanderpuye, and I'm going to ask my producers and ask Nii if I can bring Nii back, because indeed over 5 million of us have to go outside and do our business. That much more than people living in Equatorial Guinea. Can you believe it?
That is the key. You know, we've been able to achieve the Millennium Development Goal on water provision of access to water, but not for toilet, not for sanitation.
I'll get you back.
And I don't even like the way we use the word sanitation. We should use toilet. So that people will understand it very well.
All too soon, my time is up, but Nii, thank you very much for coming. Folks, tomorrow we're back to do this all over again, but I hope maybe sometime next week I'll get Nii back in and we'll talk business or toilets. So don't move. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
Nii, thank you.